Good morning, all. This is Jack from Charting the Markets, and this is the pre-market webinar for the morning of Monday, the 15th of June. My disclaimer, I do this for educational purposes only. I'm here to share my technical analysis with you. I hope you can take some of what I'm doing and learn from it, transfer it to your own chance, and I'm not here to issue trading signals. This is a video for paying subscribers at chartingthemarkets.substack.com, and it's published on YouTube after a delay of 24 hours. All right, great. Looking at ES, we're going to see a gap up this morning. It's going to be substantial. It's up 92.5 at the moment, at the time of speaking. In terms of the head and shoulders, this is exactly the scenario I was talking about last week. And the head and shoulders has failed. A double bottom, small double bottom has broken up with a target in the 76.25 to 76.50 range. And basically, the failure of the head and shoulders gives us a target back at a retest of the all-time high. NQ, that head and shoulders has failed, and we got a target back at a retest of the all-time high. Hey, Doug. RTY, we didn't have a head and shoulders, so one hasn't broken, but we're already back up at the all-time highs. YM, the head and shoulders failed on Friday, and we're back up at a retest of the all-time high. So I'm expecting to see retest the all-time highs on ES and QQQ as well. On DAX, I think we're heading back to a retest of the all-time high. ESTX is already there, and Nikkei is already there as well, having had a head and shoulders which is there as well, which is also broken back up with a target to retest the all-time high. Basically, we're back at all-time highs already on everything except DAX. And YM, we've reached the all-time high. RTY, we've reached the all-time high, and we should do that in RTH once we open. Basically, we haven't reached the retest of the all-time high on ES, NQ, and DAX yet, so I'm expecting to reach it on all of them. So in terms of the daily charts, this is actually a pretty classic way to break up. The SPX basically was testing the daily middle band at the close on Friday, and I was looking. So a lot of the time when you see this, especially in a light high news environment, you will find that you're testing resistance at the end of the week, and then you gap up over it at the beginning of the week. What typically happens afterwards? Well, typically you will head up to the retest of the previous high. So that's exactly what we're looking at this morning. So if there's a dip this morning, I would be strongly inclined to buy it. In terms of the hourly charts, we've got an RSI 14 buy signal fixed, and that's probably going to make target at the open. On Qs, again, we were just below the daily middle band at the close and testing that fairly vigorously as resistance. We've broken up over that. We've got a daily RSI 5 buy signal fix, which may well make a target today, and we had an hourly RSI 14 buy signal fix, which will probably make a target at the open. Where am I looking at in terms of targets to the upside? We'll see. I'm looking here at the short-term pattern from the late March low, and I'm going to be doing more work on this on the basis that we could get up to the retest of the all-time high and stall there, or because obviously we've got a peace process here, but the Israelis aren't too happy with it. There are a number of things that could derail it. We will see, but I'll be looking both at the possibility that this is a double top, and also that we will be going up and making a higher target, and where that might be. Pretty much the same on the Qs. On Dire, where we already had a break over the daily middle band, we're going to hit the retest of the all-time high at the open, it looks like. No divergence on the hourly chart. Again, looking at the pattern from the March low, looking for the retest of the high, and going to be looking at targets to get higher than that. And I'm wondering whether we might reach a target which makes sense, obviously, on this bigger picture from the April low last year. All right, let's have a look at IWM. IWM was already testing the all-time high on Friday. No divergence on the hourly, no divergence on the 15-minute chart, but we had a very nice looking resistance trend line there, which was holding on Friday, and we're going to see it break above today. I'll be looking for alternate trend lines, but you can already see where I'm thinking here, which is this dotted trend line here, which I've got currently at about the 299,300 area, and that looks like there'll be its next target. DAX, we'll see a strong break back over the daily middle band today, and I'm looking for a retest of the all-time high. And Nikkei, we're going to be testing the all-time high, I would have thought, at the open today. We shall see. These could be double tops, but I'm not really expecting to see the next reversal without seeing retests of the highs on SPX and QQQ. But this is the scenario I was writing about on Wednesday and Friday, where the head and shoulder patterns reject and we head back up into the high, and that's what we're looking at here. All right, looking at DX. DX has had, DX, we've broken down for a double top. It's not making a lot of progress down at the moment, but I think there's a pretty good chance we're going to make the target in the 98.72 to 98.86 area. After that, we will see. Not really seeing a lot on the other currencies to either contradict that or do anything else. So USD/JPY, as we had the double top, I'm expecting to see a retest of this high here in the 160.75 area. Just looked at as a double top though, we've already made the first target, but I'm still expecting to see the retest of this high. In terms of USD CAD, I'm watching this this rising megaphone with great interest. This could be a bearish overthrow, or it could be a sign that we're about to start breaking up. But at the moment, I'm wondering about a bearish overthrow and wondering if that is suggesting weakness against the Canadian dollar, which would involve going down here. Australian dollar, big head and shoulders, which is broken down quite away from failing. And we've got a double top that's broken down on NZ and a little double top bottom that has broken up. So watching that with interest. All right, ZB, we rejected the double top, failed and rejected back up into the prior high, and ZN has rejected back up. The head and shoulders failed, and that's rejected back up into the prior high as well. Looking at the TYX chart, I am wondering if we might see another leg up here on the both on this P steel and on a head and shoulders, which is broken down on TYX. So I am wondering about seeing more strength short term on the bonds charts. Looking at oil. We've got a weak 6-minute buy signal fix on coil, which is Brent, and CL. We've got a weak 6-minute buy signal fixed. HO, we've got a weak 6-minute buy signal fixed. Obviously, we've come down quite a way. We've got some big patterns here which have broken down, which I'm not expecting to make target, but I'm expecting these in due course to retest back up into the highs. I think the main oil price spikes are ahead of us, not behind us. So I'm doing a post about that today, so watch out for that. I was hoping to get that out of the weekend, but it was a very busy weekend. I ended up rolling 11 futures, which is a lot of charts to recreate. Short term, it looks as though we are close to a rally. Not seeing any obvious short-term patterns, but this would be a good and obvious time to see a rally. RBOB, no current divergence. This could still be a double bottom here, but at the moment it looks like it's extending down. We do have a double top that's broken down here in the 2.681 to 2.607 range. That's possible we'll reach that, although I'm not inclined strongly towards that. NG, we broke down below the rising support here, and we are seeing a nice little rally here, but this is, my view is that this is a bear flag. That was a bearish overthrow. This has broken down, and we are in the not too distant future likely to see a retest of this low here in the 2.89 area. So I think we're seeing a rally before that happens. In terms of GC, we saw a nice little rally up here on the P steel. We could be forming an inverted head and shoulders here, and we've got a possible 60-minute sell signal brewing. I'm wondering about a bit of a reversal and a pullback here, and then probably higher. SI, not forming an inverted head and shoulders here, but we've got a possible 60-minute sell signal brewing here too. Palladium, wondering about bottoming action. Platinum, wondering about bottoming action. HG, wondering about another retest of this high. We shall see. Looking at KC, we've had a very nice move up, which has come and exactly tested the declining resistance trend line. This will require a little more work from me, working out what's happening here and seeing if I've got a support trend line. But really, I'm expecting, this doesn't mean this is bottoming out, but this does mean this is gearing up for a rally, as and when we break above this declining resistance. And I'm looking for a larger reversal pattern here. We have this little double bottom here, which is obviously made target. SB, wondering about a double bottom here. If that doesn't deliver, I'm looking for a retest of this low here in the 1380 area. Looking at CC, still looking for a test of the head and shoulder target, which is rolled this into September, so this is now in the 3607 area. Lumber has gone a bit higher, 60-minute sell signal fixed, small double top here, looking for a pullback. CT, possible bottoming action. Wheat, we had basically a little IHS that failed. We retested the low, and we've now got a potential little double bottom here, which I'm watching. So Let's see how that does. But I'm wondering about a rally here too. Corn, wondering about possible bottoming action, no break up over declining resistance. Soy, which we've rolled into November now, we come back and we tested a low. This isn't looking like a double bottom at the moment. ZL, possible head and shoulders forming. We will see whether that's going to break down, and if so, whether that heads off and makes the target. Live cattle, we already had a head and shoulders here. It broke down and it failed. So I'm looking for a retest of this high here in the T5150 area on HE. Wondering whether we're looking at a rally here. This short term looks like a little bear flag though, so it may just be setting up a retest this low. We've got a 60-minute buy signal fixed, which hasn't failed yet, although it's had a couple of decent attempts at trying. All right, let's have a look at questions, of which we have none. So hang on, wait a second. Oh yeah, sorry. Yeah, I missed. I recorded it under the different meeting number by mistake. But basically, the key thing on crypto is that we're testing the daily middle bands, and if we could break up over those, then we can see higher. We got all the high highs I was looking for on Bitcoin and Solana and Ethereum, but I'm a bit concerned about how strong this is looking, and in the context of SPX and QQQ, very, very likely going higher. So I'm a bit concerned we're going to see a break back over that. We shall see how that goes. All right, great. In that case, I think that's a wrap. Everyone take care, and I'll catch you guys tomorrow morning. All right, cheers.